Recovery supports. Recovery from mental illness and/or addictions is an ongoing process specific to the individual in which they strive to reach their full potential. This process requires support. The following video outlines several supports and their importance to individuals who have utilized them in their recovery.
I'd been in treatment, however, since the late 80s, but my recovery truly didn't start until 2004.
Arrested for a third OWI and was, had to do a year of incarceration at Putnamville Correctional Facility.
I was in a cycle that was kind of tough for me to get out of, and fortunately, although I didn't look at it at the time, my connection with the legal system put an abrupt halt to my active use. And
I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't like the way I felt. I didn't like the way that I thought about things, and quite frankly, I didn't see any point in my going on with life.
I was really isolating because of major depression.
I think through the grief and the guilt of over his loss, my using then escalated dramatically, and over the next 2 years I spiraled down until in August of 2003 I ended up in the same treatment center, same rooms.
I had burned so many bridges with my friends and family that I had very few people left in my life who didn't use.
I was, afraid. I was like uncertain as to what tomorrow would be. I'm constantly living in fear of relapsing. Having psychotic episodes, etc.
Before my addiction started, I didn't really do much. I was kind of a loner, pretty shy.
A couple times I was dragged to treatment centers. A couple times I was given ultimatums like, you get out of our house or you go to treatment. And a couple times where law enforcement was involved to where that pushed it. I can think of a couple times I should have been arrested, but the police department said, you take him to treatment right now and we won't take him to jail.
Recovery supports work. Personal support networks. Includes support from persons such as families, friends, and coworkers, and places which are welcoming.
well, for me, my family's been huge.
You got to have support. You got to have people that's going to support you, because I don't think I would have ever made it if I hadn't found that support, because it meant a lot,
My mom has been, she's been kind of a big part of my recovery in that she works her own recovery program for people who are family members of alcoholics and addicts, and that has helped her to understand kind of what is going on with me and how to react to me. I didn't like my mom after she started working that program.
I've got about three different groups of friends that don't really see each other. I mean, they wouldn't meet in the street, but I know them all. So I think it helps to have, like, they talk about a stool with 3 legs. It's good to have a broad base of friends.
I was suicidal. I was thinking about ways where I could just end my life because I didn't see any value to myself. But through my family supporting me and helping me, it was paramount to me feeling, that somebody cared about me.
Without that family backing and those personal supports, I can't say for sure that I wouldn't be here, but it's very possible that I wouldn't be. So,
Peer support networks. Includes support provided by persons in recovery or with lived experience through a variety of settings such as recovery fellowships and clubhouses. Clubhouses are community-based centers where people with serious mental illnesses can access supports in a safe environment.
Peer support for me was an absolutely critical aspect of my recovery.
I know for myself, I would not be where I am today if it was not for my peers. someone that I know I can turn to that's not going to judge me.
Right.
Someone that, as you said, we're on an evil kill, where normally, I'd put my providers, my family, my friends way up here and me down here. And with my peers, it's balanced across the board.
And in my experiences with the clubhouse, I felt like I had a whole network of people that cared about me. How are you today? And if I didn't show up for a few days, I'd get a phone call. Are you doing okay? Is there anything we can do for you? And boy, does that make you feel good. It makes you feel important. It makes you feel like somebody really is caring about you.
My peer support network has pretty much saved my life.
Hobbies and interests. Activities outside of work and treatment that provide meaning for people who engage in them.
I started getting into volunteering at the Shalom Center and the community kitchen. Cooking is my passion. I totally love to cook. I love to experiment with foods, baking, cooking. That's me. I'm totally ecstatic with that, you know. It's also my best therapy.
Do fantasy sports, which is football, basketball, and baseball. So we're like right in the middle of baseball, and then football fantasy is coming up soon. Can't come soon enough, as bad as my baseball team is. But that helps because it's another group I'm involved in. It's about 4 guys from work, and then their friends. So you get to know a lot of other different people.
Every year I try to learn something new, and that's one of my big areas of interest. Now that I'm a homeowner, a lot of it's things around the house, like drywall and stuff like that. But I have a goal that every year I have to learn a new project. One year it was learning to play the piano. In the future I want to learn to sing and take singing lessons. But for so many years I was sheltered and didn't have the opportunity for these things. And it was that I did that to myself. But now that I'm out of my cocoon, I just have this thirst for knowledge and want to learn all kinds of hobbies and interests that I never had before.
My main thing is I really enjoy writing. I can really just sit down and just flow, just come up with some great stuff, poetry, short stories, or just free thought. Writing has really been a beneficial tool that I got introduced to back when I was younger in high school, and then again reintroduced through recovery by my sponsor as well as a recovery coach. So.
Prevention and wellness. Linking behavioral health services with physical health services to treat the whole person.
Before I got into recovery, I was homeless. I didn't have medical care. I didn't have a stable food source. I washed my hair in the creek along with my clothes and hung them on a rope. And my medical needs were significant right along with my mental health needs. And I didn't believe that there was anyone who could help me, any way I could get help. There were no freely available insurance for individuals suffering from what I believed I was suffering from.
My mental and emotional wellness were greatly connected with my physical wellness. And that was one thing. And it took me a while to really understand that.
Without the doctors that I had and the treatment that I got, I don't think that I would be where I am today.
Housing. Access to safe and affordable housing in the community.
When you don't know where you're going to sleep that night and you're sleeping someplace that's distinctly unsafe, it's really hard to focus on anything else, any other life goals. And it's hard to maintain your recovery focus and your recovery program when your life is that unstable. I couch surfed forever before I was homeless, and so this was mine. This was a place that I earned through my own deeds, my own hard work, and it was a safe place.
Finally able to afford my own housing, but as you were saying, it's much more than just a place to live. It's a place that you can call home. It's not a house. It's a place where it's safe for you to be and safe for your recovery. You know, it's a place that makes you feel comfortable.
Employment. The common thread that provides opportunities to expand personal networks, create peer supports, earn money to pursue hobbies and interests, access better resources for prevention and wellness, and obtain safe housing.
Employment gives you socialization. It provides you with the necessary income to do some of the things that you would like to do for your grandchildren or for yourself even through hobbies or whatever. So employment, I think, is key from a couple of different aspects in that it gives you a feeling of self-worth. You feel like you're contributing, which I think is crucial for anybody's self-esteem, is to feel like that they are a contributor and not a taker.
The job that I really wanted, we focus on the ABCs of employment. Any job, better job, career. And, maybe being a waitress was in any job, but it opened the door for the career. It was the first step that I needed to get me in the door of doing what I love, helping people. So, and if it wasn't for the social supports that I had, if it wasn't for the recovery supports, if it wasn't for the drive I had with the things I was interested in and slowly building those confidence in baby steps, I don't know that I would have been able to set foot in the door for the interview. It all kind of worked together to propel me into that place to have the confidence I needed to be successful there.
When I first heard that, I was like, this is the most bogus thing I've ever heard. But oddly enough, it was like one of the main things that had stuck with me through employment rehab, and I took that and ran with it. It actually works. I went through my first job during that program was a janitor. My next job, I moved up, about $1.50 more in pay, and then my next job was career. And that all happened in a span of 2 years.
I wouldn't be who I am had I not lived through everything I've lived through.
Yep.
That's
So-
exactly true.
So, I think having had the opportunity to utilize peers and then the opportunity to become a peer has been pretty fantastic.
I'm at a point in my recovery that, yes, I wish my background was different, but it's not. So now I've learned to embrace it and can honestly say, now I'm thankful that I had the experiences that I did, and because I'm able to use those to help others that are struggling
Exactly.
with things that I used to struggle with. I'm 46 now. It took me until I was 41 until I got to a point that I could say, I love myself, I love my life, and I love what I'm doing with it.
Recovery is possible. Everyone has the right to ask for and to try recovery supports from their service provider.
Being open is important because the more set of eyes on you, the better. And I don't think, stigma is a problem, but not if they know you. It's hard, it's easy to stigmatize like a whole, subgenre or a race or whatever, but it's harder to stigmatize just like one person. Like, oh, that's just Dave. We know Dave. It's not that bad, so.
This video was made by the Recovery Supports Work Group. It is made up of consumers, family members, and service providers and is a subcommittee of the State Mental Health and Addiction Planning Council. The goal of the work group is to promote and develop statewide recovery supports for persons with mental illness and/or addictions. For more information about recovery supports and the work group, visit www.in.gov/FSSA/DMHA. The work group would like to thank the individuals who shared their stories of recovery and all those who contributed to this project.